Long forgotten or ignored, females have plenty of surprises in store for us. We imagine them obedient, submissive, and always devoted. As we'll discover, they can be dominant, independent, manipulative, and often unfaithful.
On Savannah Lane, we've traversed opulence, scarcity, and long moments of solitude. Then came the time for encounters with casual lovers. From these fleeting liaisons, each of us inherited a fine descendancy. There's an art to being a mother. Victoria isn't one to do things halfway. She bravely raised her 4 cheetah cubs, each from a different father, on her own. Laurent kept it to 2 lion cubs. They're grown now, so no need for the 2 battle-scarred nannies to watch over them. She might as well go back to her clan. Kathy succeeded in raising her baby in the midst of an insufferable herd of hippopotamuses. Our amphibious neighbor is one tough cookie. And me? Well, I've done all right as a mother. Though I can't say the same for Josie. She'll never change, only thinking of herself and her behind. It's a wonder her son came out so well with a mother like that. It's all well and good to talk about maternal instincts, devotion, patience, sacrifice. There's a time to cut the apron strings so sons and daughters can make their own way. But it's not so easy carving out one's place on Savannah Lane. Let me fill you in on the latest local upheavals. From where I stand, I can see what's coming before the others. And believe you me, we're fast running out of room on Savannah Lane. My hooves have just informed me a giant tidal wave of wildebeest will soon wash over Savannah Lane. Coming from the south and the west, battalions are forming to become the most unlikely army anyone's ever seen. And they just keep coming. Even here, nature abhors a vacuum. On Savannah Lane, every day brings something new. There are painful mornings when we feel terribly alone. Victoria's 3 sons have never experienced such a tragedy. Last night, their mother abandoned them. It had to happen sometime. It was time for Victoria to move on to other things and take a breather. 3 disoriented brothers, left to fend for themselves. Having an empty stomach doesn't mean devouring the first meal that crosses their path. Like a jackal they'd met when they were teens during a hunting lesson. An aggressive, carnivorous live wire that's very hard to catch. Little bits of history repeating. Alas, these three are far from ready. Meanwhile, further south, the drought must be cruelly felt. The invasion of this herd of horned beasts will soon rock Savannah Lane's social and family equilibrium to its core. Victoria walked all night to elude her offspring. Against all odds, her daughter followed her. She should have stayed with her brothers. Maybe she didn't feel ready to be an adult. Victoria has being a mother down to a fine art. But now it's time for her daughter to unveil her skills as a huntress. This time, Victoria plays spectator. She gets good marks for the chase. But for the element of surprise, technique, and the kill, she's barely a notch above her brothers. Her 18 months of training at least taught her one thing: don't have eyes bigger than your stomach. The problem with these lawnmowers is that once they've passed through, the ground is as bald as an eagle. For those of us who eat acacia leaves, the arrival of our distant Maasai cousins with their long brown starburst robes confirms my fears. Food shortages must be dire outside of Savannah Lane. During the wildebeest season, the lionesses set up camp near their primary residence. It's close to a wood where leftovers from a feast can be safely stored. Thanks to Laurent, the best hunter in the clan, her sisters, cousins, and their brood are well taken care of. For the moment, they're all living the good life. But on every joy, a little rain must fall. On Savannah Lane, there's always a lurker looking to crash the party. The lionesses know that a dominant lone male couldn't care less about their territorial markings. Urine and chemicals are the main ingredients of the smelly potion applied to lay claim to the territory. Laurent sees this prowler's plan. He wants the lion's share. This one is probably a solitary type, the kind of quick-tempered and dangerous opportunist to watch out for. Keep a low profile, avoid looking him in the eyes, and submit to the despot. It's the best attitude to adopt to keep his anger in check. Still hidden in the bushes, Lauren hopes to keep her treasured spoils. No one can match the Savannah's most powerful thug, an experienced thief who thinks the world is his oyster. When it's hot and you're hairy and heavy, running after prey makes your mane sweaty. So to get their fill, lions prefer muscling their way in with the lionesses. It's no secret here that males often go too far. It's the same for Lauren as it is for Kathy or Josie. The main thing is to keep their little corner of heaven. Here, each of us has acreage for her primary residence, various location homes, hunting grounds, or pastures for grazing. Close to the river are the family dominions where Kathy, Josie, and Lauren were born, raised, and have all their familiar landmarks. With its panoramic view of the Savannah, Josie's primary residence is quite unique, with a stream that's refreshing. This property has enough floors to provide accommodations for the entire tribe of troublemakers. This gang of baboons would have a very hard time finding another tree as well adapted to its need. So moving is out of the question. Kathy's is dream real estate for a hippo. It's got all the latest conveniences, running water, and a beach with a gently sloping shore. Useful, because Kathy loves to sneak out for a midnight graze. Lauren's vast family estate isn't far from Josie's. She inherited from her mother, who inherited it from her mother, who, well, you get the picture. The estate has several residences, featuring a summer home and a fortress-like vantage point where the lion cubs are safe. Believe you me, a decent lot on Savannah Lane is hard to find. There's no more available land. Those who are sedentary defend their territory and avoid changing routines to stay out of danger. Yesterday, when confronting the lion, Lauren didn't give in and paid the price. She was wounded in the battle. She spent the night alone in the Savannah. Her clan chose to abandon their hunting ground to the tyrant to get the little ones to safety. Living in a family has its bad and good points. While she was away, the lionesses took care of Lauren's offspring as if they were her own. There's no place like home. To be welcomed into the fold as if nothing had happened. But things will never quite be the same for the clan's best huntress. Laura is blind in one eye. The caravan of wildebeest stretches across the horizon, moving closer to the river that marks a border with Savannah Lane. Stopped dead in their track, the infantrymen have converged near a stream. These waters are a lair for Nile crocodiles, monsters that can reach a length of 5 meters long. The wildebeest stomp their feet, impatient to cross these waters, yet very uneasy about the idea of diving into what could be a deadly trap. As usual, these fools chose the most dangerous place to cross. A lone wildebeest takes the plunge, and the collective momentum follows. On the heels of the Great Migration, new predators have arrived. Meet Dorothy, a member of the incoming cackle of hyenas and a future neighbor who has a devilish reputation. Every day is still the same for this trio. First, they must get their strength back by catching some easy prey to fill their desperately empty bellies. Another day dawns, and Victoria's sons are still looking for the perfect place to set up shop. But they aren't the only ones. Last night, the 3 young lions were sent packing. Everyone's in the same boat, confronted with the harsh realities of adulthood. Together through thick and thin, this trio should be indestructible. In the future, these lions will probably take power from a clan of lionesses. For now, they must defend their position. And the situation looks tense. The newcomers covet this territory. Dorothy is the leader of this gang of hooligans. A few rallying cries, and the spotted hyenas come in for the huddle. Their technique has been tested. I wouldn't bet money on these young'uns. The hyenas seriously outnumber the young lions, and Dorothy knows it. She's practically the only one on Savannah Lane who knows how to count. don't do battle with a raging cackle of hyenas. Facing off, 3 contenders for the title of King of the Savannah and a gang of thugs. The pack's excitement has reached fever pitch. Using a proven method, they set out in small groups in a fan-like formation. Don't be fooled by appearances. What looks like a bunch of common scavengers made of mismatched parts are actually formidable huntresses, equipped with the most powerful jaws on the savannah. The match is already lost. They're better off walking away. As for the 3 cheetah brothers, they've got their work cut out for them. Sure, there's strength in numbers, but only when there's a game plan and some organization. I told you they were far from ready. It was inevitable. And these yelps that fade away on the savannah won't change a thing. For Victoria's daughter, it's the first day of the rest of her life. A solitary and bohemian existence lays ahead for her. Along this river, everyone crosses paths, but does their best to stay out of each other's way. Victoria needs a break to get her strength back. Being a good mother also means leaving your offspring behind and encouraging them to lead their own lives. Cheetahs have never liked water. This time, Victoria intends on covering her tracks and leaving no olfactory traces behind her, so she can move on. Independence has never been a driving force in baboon society. In fact, no member of the tribe would ever think of throwing a son out on the savannah. Here, they have other priorities. Especially Josie. Sadly, nursing her littlest, Alfred, really tires her out, so Josie has lost a lot of weight. In a gang where fleshy females are favored, Josie has dropped back down in the hierarchy again. So to build up her strength, Josie neglects Alfred. One can always be sure there's a female or two ready to kidnap her child. Josie's first son barely escaped such a fate. In the end, it's the same old song. It's well known that things always seem clearer in the morning, and that goes for lionesses too. They had to abandon one of their hunting grounds and their larder to head out by night willy-nilly and flee a tyrant. The big males have an annoying habit of killing cubs that aren't even 2 years old yet. One after the other, the lionesses take refuge at their primary residence, not far from where Josie and Kathy live. A fortress perched high on the banks, an ideal lookout point. It's the perfect place to guarantee no trace is left behind and keep their young safe. Laurent brings up the rear. Before joining the others, she did her duty, carefully patrolling the area, verifying there were no intruders lurking in the vicinity. This location has more than one advantage, especially since it overlooks the path of the Great Migration. On Savannah Lane, convoys of wildebeest will pass through for several more days, if not weeks. The wildebeest close ranks, but believe me, if their backs are against the wall, their unified front can fall to pieces. Latecomers and those who are too weak to fight the current best beware. They're more exposed than the others to the crocodiles. The wildebeest's strength is in their numbers, their sheer volume. Isolated individuals don't stand a chance. Danger breaks every bond. You know what I think? We should take advantage of this refreshing downpour. Drink it in. These are probably the last raindrops we'll see for a long time. The drought always follows migrants in their exile, and we'll end up finding Savannah Lane. Rain before 7, fine before 11. It looks like a good hunting day for the lionesses. Laurent has spotted a prey. A lone zebra. Like a gift from heaven. An opportunity presents itself to put the clan's oldest sons to the test. They're at the end of their apprenticeship, and the lionesses would like to be rid of them. On one side, failure. On the other, disappointment. They've got nothing to gloat about. The mothers are having a hard time digesting this defeat. They'll probably go to sleep with empty bellies. I needn't remind you that lionesses never try to hold on to males, even their own sons. Early morning screaming makes Dorothy's presence known. Anne lays claim to her territory when the rains have erased the olfactory traces she had carefully dispersed. Most of my neighbors live in a world where smells transmit messages, including information about territory. None of this affects me. Like most herbivores, I'm not tied down. I'm free. And what if that were happiness? Well, there's joy on the Savannah. These young herbivores' lives start out gently, bathed in innocence. Toppy feels he's invincible under the watchful eye of a lookout. Sooner or later, he'll learn the tricks and traps life has in store for him. The brothers' determination has taken a hit. After many fruitless hunts, their bellies are still empty. Their muscles gorge only on fatigue. Best let sleeping cats lie. This young Toppy's life is like morning dew on a blade of grass. Light, pure, and terribly short. Here's the hapless lookout who didn't sound the alert, and now doesn't know which way to turn. The clumsy trio finally remembers what their mother taught them. Better a small meal than an empty stomach. It looks like everyone should be able to find their place on Savannah Lane. In the neighborhood, Victoria is seen as a perfect mother. In fact, perhaps the only ones who don't share this opinion are the 4 children she abandoned on the Great Plain. Far from her brothers, this young cheetah's life is beginning to resemble her mother's, a frantic race. A natural hierarchy has been established among the three brothers. A leader has emerged to take care of daily business. He chooses the prey, spearheads the hunts, coordinates all the missions. The trio is now ready to set up their territory. Among the newcomers, Jill and Jack make a perfect couple, but they're not fooling me. Despite their stiff and formal appearance, these jackals are nothing but freeloaders. I don't know how those two will fit in here. The young lions were persistent, but never managed to take back their spot. The hyenas are still on their trail. If they ever hope to get some peace, they'll have to leave Savannah Lane. It's like everywhere. Life is off and running again. Get rid of your children, and the next thing you know, more are on the way. How absurd is that? My guess is that Dorothy the hyena has decided to settle down here. In the wild, it takes all kinds. Over at the hyena's place, Mr. is very shy. He's small and not as strong as the Mrs. He has less endurance, too, often needing a break in the heat of action. Sometimes he's even been known to nap on the missus's back. The new day dawns, and a joyous wildebeest parade is underway. Finally, it's time to break ranks and spread out over Savannah Lane. News that is sure to delight the carnivores.
La 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 la, la 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la, la 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 la. La 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 la.
Despite her disability, Laura hasn't lost her courage, and her hunting skills remain unbeatable. It's Laurent who does all the work. The young lions flatter themselves by going in for a mock coup de grace. Then they'll gorge themselves on the beast until there's nothing left. Time doesn't have much meaning here on Savannah Lane, yet we all live in a state of urgency. Fast motion. Nature can be unpredictable, and life is often too short. On the harsh savanna, a cheetah will live about 10 years. Having raised 3 sons and a daughter demanded great sacrifices and created a lot of stress. Victoria might have given herself a little time off before starting all over again. She's got her work cut out for her. A mother with little ones in her care must hunt every day. So Victoria is heading back to Savannah Lane. Here, less than a third of the young will reach adult age. Will she manage to raise her 6 cheetah cubs? The challenge is daunting. For Laurent, there wasn't any real advantage in going back to her own clan. Too many mouths to feed. She'll have to increase the number of forays now. Out on the hunt, again and again, taking risks, in spite of her fatigue and her handicap. How long can Laurent keep it up? A single blow, and fate takes over. Always on the alert with her brood close on her heels, Victoria can't imagine crossing this sea of wildebeest peacefully. 2 baby cubs incapable of taking a step forward, terrified by all the noise and those crazy bearded creatures staring at them. Every day, the cheetah family must change sleeping quarters, tiptoe their way through the wildebeest, and cover several kilometers on foot. Victoria is far from being out of the woods. Nothing is written in stone. But Lauren's last hunt went very badly. She's wounded. A piece of horn embedded in her muscle will prevent her from hunting. Will Lauren be able to count on the clan she sacrificed so much for? On Savannah Lane, life is a fragile thing.